sis, hey brother, hey foe, hey friend. Welcome in. Welcome to the Hope After podcast. If this is your first time here with us, I want you to feel like you just stepped into a quiet corner of my world. No pressure, no perfection. Just real conversations. Are you ready to grow with us? Put the kids to bed, put your pajamas on, grab your favorite seat on the couch with your blanket, your tea, your coffee, your wine, your champagne, or your sparkling cider like me, because I don't drink, but I like to have me a glass. I want you to get comfortable, okay? Get comfortable so that we can talk. Let me go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Winston Elizabeth. I am a tax professional, a serial entrepreneur. I'm an author. I am a seamstress. I am a t shirt designer. I am a painter. I am a praise dancer. I am a speaker. Um, I'm all of the above. I'm what you call a Jane of all trades. And I don't mind it. I love to allow the Lord to use me in the creative spaces that He chooses to use me. If He's given me a gift, I want to use it to the best of my ability. So, this is another gift added to my list. I'm now also a podcaster. All right. This space right here is for stories, reflection, and the kind of honesty we don't always make time for. With Mother's Day this Sunday, right around the corner, I could not think of a better topic than to begin with something that affected us all in one way or another, which is motherly love. Motherly love can come in many different forms. It can come from your actual mother. It can come from a church mother. It could have came from a grandmother. It could have came from a friend at work. It could have came from a teacher. I know a teacher who stated that she was like a mom to her students. Motherly love comes in all different forms. So I'm sitting here in my little corner with my glass in my hand, and we're just going to talk. I'm going to talk as a woman. I'm going to talk as a mother. I'm going to talk as a daughter and as someone who is still learning what love really looks like in real life. Motherly love. So let's listen to this for a minute. I'm going to give you some time to get settled in as you enjoy a little bit of jazz. All right. Have you had enough time? Are you settled down yet? All right. Let's get into it. Well, it would only be befitting for me to start off talking about myself as a mother. I became a mother. Well, I am a mother of six. I became a mother back in 2009. I found out I was pregnant in 2008. I had just finished um, cosmetology school, which was at a college. So I lived on the dorms while I was there. And that September, after I graduated, I found out I was pregnant. And this is right before my mom's birthday. I was terrified to tell her that I was pregnant, but I made the call. I called her the day before her birthday because I didn't want to tell her on her birthday. And I was like, hey, mom, I need to tell you something. She was like, what? It's like, I'm pregnant. Do you know what her response to me was? Her response to me was, I know. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting her response to be, I know. But when you have a praying mother and a mother that talks to God, those are the kind of responses that you kind of expect sometimes. So she said she had already dreamt about it. So she already knew I was pregnant. So even though that was one of the scariest things I had ever done, I did it. And she already knew. And she was actually very supportive throughout the entire pregnancy. I wasn't living at home, nor was I living close to home. I was living about a good 4 hours from my parents. And I was like, okay, I can do this. It'll be okay. Um, but after I came into town a month later to visit my sister for her birthday. And once I came back in town and felt the love of my family again, I didn't want to be out of town anymore. I didn't want to do it alone. Even though I was a single mother, because me and her father had already broken up. So even though I was a single mother, I just didn't want to be away from my family, trying to start over in a new town where I was relying on friends and their family. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to stay in Dallas where my family is. And so that was my start at motherhood. I gave birth, of course, 9 months later. My daughter was a week late. Most of the time, I was able to hide the pregnancy. I wasn't trying to hide the pregnancy, but a lot of people could not tell that I was pregnant. And that's something you'll hear from a lot of other people when they talk about their first pregnancy. A lot of times you can't tell that people are pregnant with their first until like the very end. I actually was a beautician at the time. I started working at a salon. I was still struggling to get on my feet and to get clientele as a cosmetologist, as a hairstylist. And I wasn't smart enough or humble enough to say, hey, can I work as an apprentice up underneath somebody? Because I had a place that I shared with one of my sisters. So I had to pay bills. Me and my sister got an apartment together. We had already decided how everything was going to be split. So I had bills to pay. Not only did I have bills to pay, I had a baby on the way as well. So my mom used to come in there all the time and say, how much are you short on your blueprint? And I would tell her how much I was short. She would bring my little sisters in there, who I had already been doing my little sister's hair, with something I'd been doing since I was way younger, once I first started braiding. And so she would bring my sisters in there, and she would let me do their hair, and she would write a check for whatever I was short on my blueprint that week. So she came pretty often, like almost every 2 weeks, because she wanted to help. She wanted to help me out. She knew I needed it. She knew I was trying to get on my feet. And that lasted for a few months. Then I applied for a job at a place called Tony and Guy. It's a salon, hair salon. I think most of you all should know what that is. And I applied as an apprentice there. So I began working there. I was washing hair. I was washing the towels. And then we had to take turns like cleaning the actual store itself, mopping the floor and all of that. Most of the people there did not know I was pregnant. And I was like 7 months pregnant when I started there. And so I worked there all the way up until a week, all the way up until my due date. So she came a week late, and I stopped working a week before I gave birth. And I told them right before I quit that I was quitting because I was pregnant. And it was pretty much my due date. It was like, what do you mean you're pregnant? I was like, yes, I'm not just fat. I've been pregnant this whole time. They're like, and we've had you mopping the floors on your hands and knees and all of this, and you're pregnant. I'm like, yeah, I've been pregnant this whole time. And the day before I left, we had a meeting that was already scheduled. It was like our salon quarterly meeting. And they threw me a surprise baby shower, like literally in a day. That was the sweetest thing ever for them to do. And it was so helpful because I needed it. I needed all the help that I could get at that point in time. And I actually got preeclampsia with that pregnancy, and that was why I stopped working because I was swelling. I could not see my ankles. I had gained like 20 pounds in a week, but I kept going to the doctor, and the doctor kept saying, nothing's wrong with you. Swelling is fine in pregnancy. This means doctors don't be listening to us, and I can't stand that. But luckily, my mom told him to take me off of work. My mom has 9 kids. At that time, she only had eight, but she has nine now. So my mom told him to take me off of work. So he went ahead and filled out the paperwork to take me off of work. He's like, he's not filling out no FMLA paperwork because this is normal and nothing is wrong with me and I can still work, whatever. So I went ahead and got off of work. And then in the delivery room was when they said, you have preeclampsia. We need this pregnancy to hurry along, or you're going to have a C section because your blood pressure is really high. And I was not planning on telling y'all my birth story. And I'm not going to go all into details of it. But the point was that becoming a mother wasn't an easy task at all. It was not an easy task at all, but it was extremely rewarding. And even after that time, I did it 5 more times. I did it 5 more times and now have 6 beautiful children. And when my daughter was like 6 weeks old, my mom told me she was pregnant again. And that's why now she has 9 kids. I looked at her like, what do you mean you're pregnant? You're supposed to be helping me with your grandkids. Why are you pregnant again? But hey, God blessed us with my youngest sister. And I am so glad that He did because I love every single one of my siblings, all of my sisters and my brothers. Okay, all right. So that was how I became a mother. I was 21 years. I was 20 years old, and she was born literally like a month and 10 days before my actual 21st birthday. Um, it was hard. I had to learn to do a lot. I thought it was gonna be easy because when you help out with your siblings all the time, um, as a baby, as a toddler, and as a kid, you think, "Oh, I got this. I can do this. This is no problem." Mm-mm. That was hard. I had many sleepless nights, many times that I was trying to figure out, okay, she's crying. What do I do? I've tried everything. I've changed her. I've fed her, and I was a breastfeeding mother. I changed her. I fed her. She is still crying. I'm trying to rock her to sleep. She is still crying. What's wrong with her? I was working a night job. I went back to work when she was 6 weeks. My mom was watching her. I started working at a manufacturing company called Texas Instruments at that time because I didn't go back to the salon. I needed stable income in order to raise my child. And so I didn't want to leave her so young. That definitely hurt me to have to leave my baby with her being so young. But at least she was with my mom. And that was the only thing that gave me peace during that time. But shortly after I found out she was allergic to my breast milk. Now that I'm older and wiser and have had more children, I could have changed what I was eating and she would have probably been fine. But I didn't know that back then. I ate a lot of spicy food, which was probably why she did not like it. It was probably spicy for her too, because she would regurgitate it across the room after she was fed. But with my other children, I did learn that what I eat does affect them. And so if they're having issues breastfeeding, I just have to change what I ate and a lot of times figure out what it is that was upsetting their stomach. And once I figured that out, I was normally able to breastfeed with no issues. And so I didn't know. I didn't know at that time. And even though my mom had had multiple kids, she was always a very good eater. So she never had that issue. So she wasn't able to give me any wise counsel in that situation. But yeah, I went back to work for a company called Texas Instruments. I was working day shift, but I was working 12-hour shifts. But I would work 3 hours, 3 days one week, for 4 days the following week is what I did. And that allowed me to still spend a lot of time with her and raising her as well. But there's nothing easy about motherhood. So if you have a mother in your life, and if your mother has passed on, my condolences. I am truly sorry for your loss. I would love for you to take this time to reflect on the good times you both had together. Reflect on it, think on it, and just smile and just laugh. I promise you, she would love it if you did that. She would love it if you were laughing, if you were smiling, if you were enjoying life, remembering the lessons that she taught you, remembering those lessons. And if you did not have a mother in your life, I pray that you think about the person, the woman in your life that did pour into you. And if you think about it, I'm sure there was somebody. It might have been a grandparent, it might have been an aunt, it might have been a foster parent, it might have been an adopted parent, it could have been a church mother, because I have women from all walks of life that I felt like have definitely poured into me. There's many church mothers that I call mother or mom as well, and they have poured into me also throughout my life. My pastor has poured into me and has been there for me during some of the hardest times of my life. I have older friends that are like sisters. I have older friends that are like sisters to me. And then my own older sisters have definitely given me wise counsel over the years, and I'm so appreciative of it. Um, I love I love it when we pour into each other. And if you don't have anybody that has poured into you your entire life, find someone. Sit at the feet of another woman, an elderly woman, a gray haired woman. Find her. Find someone that can pour into you because you deserve to be poured into as well. Okay? All right. Um, Do y'all want to hear all of my birthing stories? They're all pretty interesting. I can definitely make another podcast, another episode that is specific about my birthing stories. Every single one of them were different. But every single one of them was definitely interesting. I can definitely tell you about a lot of different experiences. They're also different that I actually had the pleasure of delivering my last son. The doctor wasn't in the room. There was a young nurse in the room, and it was time to push. And she had not checked me in hours, like literally hours. So I was fully dilated, and we'll save that story for another time. But I delivered my last son. Okay, I delivered him. Okay. So if you all want me to share that story with you, let me know in the comments, and I will make sure that I have an episode specifically dedicated to my birthing stories. I have six of them. One of them, nothing interesting happened, but I have at least five interesting stories. Okay? Some days you're laughing really hard till your side hurts at your goofy kids or something that they said. And then other days you have to run and tell your parents how sorry you are for all the stuff you did to them growing up. You have to run and tell your parents how sorry you are for all the stuff you did to them growing up, all of the things that you put them through, all of the times you didn't listen and they had to repeat themselves over and over and over again. So I've definitely had those conversations with my mom where I have called her up and I've said, Mom, I am so sorry. Or Mom, I understand. Or Mom, thank you. And she'd be like, What? What are you thanking me for? I'm thanking you for being a strict parent. I'm thanking you for putting up with me. I'm thanking you for dealing with all of the different things that you had to deal with all of those years. That is what I'm thanking you for. I'm thanking you for not um, putting us out the house and kicking our little rude butts out. I thank you for not going on welfare. She's told us many times that she had the opportunity to go on welfare and raise us in the project. Um, because my biological father was not around. And she chose not to. She went to work anyway when she could have just did that and went to school. But she went to work anyway because she never wanted us to be raised that way. She wanted us to be raised in a stable home, somewhere that was more safe. Um, so we call our parents sometimes and apologize to them for the way that we behave. When we look at our own children sometimes and we're like, who raised you? What are you doing? Is your brain attached to the rest of your body? Where has your memory gone? Because I know for a fact I taught you better than that. I know for a fact I told you that 2 seconds ago. I know for a fact I said that 5 times. And now that I'm yelling at you, now you want to look at me like I am the big bad wolf? Come on now. You know you heard me 1 through 4. Now when I'm frustrated at 5, I'm the bad guy. Really? Really? This is a conversation I have with my kids all the time. Really? You ain't hear me say it the first 4 times? Now I gotta be the bad guy at the fifth time. How about you listen to one through four, and then you ain't gotta worry about number five. How about you remember that I taught you manners since the day you were born? How about you act like you got some sense? Cause right now you acting like you ain't got none. A lot of days I feel like mothering comes with the good and the bad. A lot of days I feel like a referee, and my day is spent navigating fights and arguments. And she took my stuff, and he hit me, and this happened, and that happened. And oh my God, I like my peace and quiet. Yes, I know I have 6 kids, but I still like my peace and quiet. And I don't mind if they're around while I'm enjoying my peace and quiet. I just want them to give me the peace and quiet that I like while they're enjoying my company. It could be us playing a game together. It could be us watching TV together, or you watching me work. My kids will come in here and just sit here and watch me work. As long as they're giving me that peace and quiet at some point in time during that day when I need it, we're good. I My kids will say they know me so well now. They will easily and quickly say, "Mom is overstimulated. Let's give her a break." So they'll leave me alone for about 20 minutes, and then they'll come back. And whatever it is that they need to talk to me about or tell me, I'm all ears. When my girls come in from school, they come right to my room and tell me about their day. When my son comes in from school, he comes into my room and or if I'm in the kitchen, normally dinner's already done by the time they come in. So I'm normally upstairs doing something else, working on something else. But they'll come in and he'll tell me what he made at school. Mom, today I'm on purple, and purple is extra good. Or today I'm on green, which is good. But the days when he's on yellow and red, oh, he don't come and tell me voluntarily. So I automatically know that something is wrong. But I like to reward them when they've done something good. I like to just say, hey, let's go out to eat. Or let's take turns picking a family event for the weekends of this month. Each of you all can pick a different event. It has to be within a certain budget. And I know, contrary to others' popular beliefs, I like to share our financial status, my financial status with my kids as well. All right. During this time of the year, when mom does this type of job, we can do these kinds of things. But during this time of the year, when mom is not working the regular job, we can do these types of things. We have to budget. So we have a budget each month, and based on that budget, we'll decide what kind of activities we're going to do that month. And I know some people say that, hey, that's not the kids' business to worry about bills. Well, my kids are going to grow up, they're going to have bills, and they're going to have to run a household. So they're going to have to know how to navigate that as well. So I don't make it a burden for them. None of my kids have to work to pay any bills in my home, but I am transparent with them as to even when they make money, like when I let them do things to earn money, like, Mom, I need money for this at school. Okay, what are you going to do to earn it outside of your regular chore? I used to pay them for their chores, but then they started halfway doing stuff and still wanted to get paid, so I stopped that. That wasn't very effective. Now it's when they want money for something, they have to tell me, what are you going to do for it? What is something that's not your typical chore in the home that you can do to help us out. And whatever that thing is that they suggest, or I may suggest something, um, I'll let them do that and they can earn that extra money that they want for whatever it is that they need to do. And I don't have a problem with that. That's how I decide to do things around my house. And that's how we're going to keep doing it. My children have high yield savings accounts so that any money that they put in their savings account can grow. So their money is making money. My kids are learning how to invest, um, so that they know how to allow their money to make money as well. I'm very transparent with my kids about these things. I teach them about taxes. Um, I teach them about credit, about banking, about saving. Like, even with their card, they have a green light card right now. So even with their green light card, they save up for specific things that they want, and then they have a separate category for spending money. And I talk to them about things like that. We could be in the store and they're like, "Oh, I want this, but mom, can I take money out of my savings account? Okay, is it worth it? What are you saving for? Is buying this, which is a temporary satisfaction, going to make you regret spending that money later?" Um, we'll talk about all kinds of things like that. And I like to teach them financial literacy, even at their age. My youngest daughter is 12. So, her and everyone else, I teach them to save. I teach them about credit cards, about saving, about interest, um, about having to even pay a bill. No, they don't pay any bills, but I teach them about it. I definitely teach them about it and how you have to make sure that that's done before you do anything. But scratch that. Even before you pay the bill, I talk to them about making sure that they have paid their tithes. That's the first thing you do when you get money. You make sure your tithes is paid. So those are like little principles that I like to instill in my kids. How we got on that tangent, I don't really remember, but it's valuable and it's something that you can teach your children too. Start them off young, for sure, because they need it. Um, so with 6 kids around me all the time, silence is not always a possibility, and refereeing can be overwhelming. So I am a mom that likes to sit in the car a little bit longer, a few extra minutes when we get home. Whether it's us driving home from church or driving home from Walmart, I will sit in the car for a little while. I just need a minute by myself in complete silence with myself. It just helps me decompress. It helps me to breathe. It helps me to really come in and handle what needs to be handled. And I enjoy doing that. And my kids understand that I enjoy doing that. So they make sure that they make it possible for me to do that as well. So if there's something that your mom loves to do and you know your mom loves to do it, make it possible for her to do it every now and again. As a mother, I know a lot of times we give. And what I'm about to say is something I just started learning over the last few years. I used to feel guilty about doing things for myself and my kids not being involved or not bringing my kids or taking my kids to every baby shower. Um, Anyone that knows me could tell you, I used to walk into the baby shower with all my kids. How many I had, how many ever I had at that point in time. But I've learned that it's okay for me to go by myself and to leave them kids home. whether it's with a babysitter, whether it's with their other parents, or if they're old enough to stay home on their own. I learned that that's okay. You don't have to feel guilty to do that. It's okay for you to take a trip by yourself. It's okay for you to remember the woman that you were before you had those kids. That is okay. I will just get up, tell everybody I'm going out, and I will leave and I will go and get me a pedicure. And I will sit there and I will enjoy every minute of it. Not trying to rush back quickly to the house to the kids. It's okay for me to pour into my cup because you can't pour from an empty cup. When you are drained and you are cranky, all your kids are getting is a drained and a cranky parent. And I have my days that I am like that. And when I am, I give my kids a heads up. I said, hey, I got no sleep last night. I worked a lot, or the baby woke up a lot last night. And so I'm tired today, really tired. So I'm a bit on edge. So if you all could help me help y'all, let's keep the peace today. Let's do what we got to do. Don't make me have to repeat myself to you. And I'm going to try to bet my best to regulate my own emotions until I get a chance to go to sleep. I talk to my kids just like that, and I'm okay with it. I don't feel guilty about it. I don't care about anybody that says, you're supposed to know how to regulate your own emotions. Don't put that on your kids. I said what I said. I give them a heads up that, hey, today is going to be a hard day for me. And I also give them the space to tell me the same thing. They don't always tell me. A lot of times I have to ask and pry and then find out. Because I'm to the point where, of course, I know my kids' personalities and I know when something's wrong. Like, I know one of my kids, if I'm just talking to her, it may be a stern conversation, but if I'm just talking to her and she busts out in tears, which is not her normal personality, I know it's about to be that time of the month for her. And so I will stop, I will lower my tone, I will speak more calmly, and I will explain to her more whatever it is that I'm talking to her about. Well, I would stop and I would just give her a break because I see that she's a bit emotional right now. That her emotions are different or more hormonal at this moment. Or I have another child that likes to wake up super early. And sometimes she's tired and cranky because her body naturally wakes up really early. And she may have stayed up late the night before because she was allowed to. So with her, I do the same thing. I pay attention to their moods. I pay attention to their emotions. I have another daughter that um, she's more sensitive, and certain things really, really bother her. Things that would not bother any of my other kids will bother her quickly. And so I have to single her out by herself, lower my stance, and lower my voice and talk her off of her edge emotionally, and then get her to explain to me, what did I say? What did I do that caused you to react the way you reacted so that we can figure it out together? I'm by no means a gentle parent because I ain't got gentle kids, but I'm 100% a parent that wants to make sure I am not beating up my kids with my words. I want to make sure that I'm not being unreasonable because they are humans too. I want to make sure that I am also taking their emotions and their mood swings into consideration as well. Then we have the 2 year old. I have a 2 year old who's learned the word no, and he acts like that's the only word he knows. That somehow is the only word in his vocabulary. You could say, "What color is this?" He'll say, "No," with an attitude, just like that. So he's a work in progress. Pray for me. Oh my gosh, he cracks me up. Let's change subjects a little bit. Well, same subject. Let's talk about something else. Which what I was just talking about kind of leads into breaking cycles. As a mother, I want to break any unhealthy cycles. I have to a lot pause and remember my childhood and remember things that were hard for me and remember things that I just did not understand and the things that I needed. This is not bashing my parents. My parents did what they could do and they did the best that they could do for us. But me as a mom, there's certain things that I think I would like to do differently. One of those things being saying I'm sorry. My kids hear me say I'm sorry very often. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't cost me anything to say I'm sorry. If I blamed you for something you didn't do, if I falsely accused you, I'm sorry. If I hurt you in a way that I did not mean to hurt you, I'm sorry. And I don't ever mean to hurt you. I mean to correct you. I mean to discipline you. I mean to direct you in the right way so that when you get older, you won't be lost, not to crush your spirit. So I say I'm sorry. And I don't mind saying I'm sorry because I'm not too big, I'm not too bad, I'm not too inhumane to say that I am sorry to my kids. When I mess up, I say I'm sorry. I like to say thank you to my kids. I remember as a kid, some days I just wanted to hear thank you. After we get done pointing out all of the things that was missed or done wrong, when you wash the dishes or clean the kitchen, you didn't wipe around the sink, you didn't do this. And I do that with my kids too. But before I go into all the things that they didn't do, sometimes after, because sometimes I have to remind myself, I say thank you for what they did do. So just like when they hear correction, I want them to also hear appreciation. Thank you. Thank you for doing the dishes. Thank you for bringing me water. Thank you for bringing me my remote because I was too lazy to get it from the other side of the room. Thank you for turning off my light because I was already in bed and you were on your way to bed. Thank you for babysitting your little brother while I went to the grocery store or to get my nails done. I tell my kids thank you. They're kids. I understand that, but they're also people. Um, I teach and I still allow a certain amount of freedom for them to mess up and make their own mistakes. Some things are situations where you don't want to listen to me. Okay, you'll learn. And after that situation pans out, every single time they come back to me and say, Mom, you were right, I'll say, hey, I don't think that girl's a good friend. I don't think you should be friends with that girl anymore. I can notice, I'm already noticing qualities in her that she's not going to be a good friend to you. Of course, the kids are like, yeah, whatever. She's my friend. We're friends at school. We got each other's back. I'm like, okay. I see the girl again. That girl is not your friend. She's not a good friend. I don't like when she does XYZ because of ABC. And she's not a good friend. Okay. They feel like they know better. But just give it some time. Let them learn for themselves sometimes. Because for sure, my daughter definitely came back to me and was like, yeah, Mom, this is what happened. And yeah, we're not friends anymore. You told me that was gonna. I don't have to say I told you so. Life taught them that lesson. And I'm okay with life teaching them certain things. There's certain things that while you're in my house, you're going to learn from what I told you. And if you don't want to learn from what I told you, that's on you. Because that ain't happening. And other things, I allow more grace. I didn't always do that. I was very, and I am this type of person in the beginning. I definitely had to learn to sit back. I've already spoken, I've already taught them. Now it's time to see if what I taught them is going to come to fruition in their life. I want to take a moment to read you a poem that I wrote. This poem is called Praying Mama. Praying Mama by Winston Elizabeth. Thank you for all the ways of the love you gave. Thank you for the sacrifice of giving me life. Birth is a tricky thing. Many mothers do not survive. And still, time and time again, you made the choice of putting yourself aside. Thank you for the sacrifices you made, knowing that you could have ran when it got hard, but you stayed each day and prayed to God. God, give me strength. God, make me wise. Teach me how to love. Please provide. You place each child in my care. I bring them to your feet and leave them there. At your feet, they're covered underneath the eagle's wings, hidden from dangers seen and unseen. Only there, I know that they can survive the tests and the trials of this life. God, take my babies in your hand. Let my boys grow up to be strong, loving, God fearing men. Let my girls grow up and know that they are more precious than rubies and pearls. As Mama prayed for my life, I know everything would be all right. Because if there was nothing else that Mama could do, Mama could definitely get a prayer through. She prayed for me to pass my test. She prayed for me to do my best. Don't let me be sick. Mama was coming through with the oil, the prayer, and some Vicks that always got me straight up and ready for school the very next day. Nothing can compete with a mother's love. It's pure, unconditional, never changes. From the moment she heard your heartbeat till the day she dies, her love for you continues like an ocean's rolling tide. Praying Mama by Winston Elizabeth. Thank you so much for spending this last hour with me and just talking with me about motherhood, about a mother's love, the sacrifices that your mother may have made and makes each and every day. I want you to tell me one of the life lessons that your mom talked to you about, one of the life lessons that your mom um, kind of left with you know, something that you reflect on each and every day and just think about and just talk about to yourself sometimes. A lesson that has came up more times than not that you definitely utilize, okay? Because there is the side of motherhood where you are completely exhausted. Some days you feel mom guilt. Some days you feel like that you're only a mom, that there is nothing else to you. Some days you feel pressure from the world to be a perfect mom. I went through that. I went through the point where I went through all of these things, first of all. But I definitely went to the point where I was comparing myself to other mothers, or I was comparing my children to the way other children behave. And all it did was drive me crazy. All it did was make me stressed out. I can't compare my kids to nobody else. And I can't compare me being a mother to anybody else either. I just have to do the best job that I can do. I have to rely on the word. I have to rely on those that I look up to. And then my motherly intuition. I have to just rely on those things and raise my kids the best way I can, the best way I know how. I'm never opposed to wise counsel. I'm never opposed to correction. Um, but I don't ever want to put myself in a position to where I feel like where I'm so hard on myself that I feel like I'm not doing a good job whatsoever, and I'm not even allowing myself to love on my kids. Like I've became a drill sergeant with them before because I wanted them to um, give out the notion that they were perfect, and they're not. They're kids. Kids do things wrong. Kids need guidance. Kids make mistakes. Kids sometimes choose to be disobedient. Kids know better and don't want to do better. Kids sometimes act like they ain't got no common sense because they just ain't been through enough life yet. But I've learned to take the highs with the lows. I don't want to say the goods with the bads because not every it's not always bad. A lot of times it's just they're seeking something. They're seeking attention. I one of my children I felt like was seeking attention all the time. And I sat with her one day and I was like, hey, I actually sat with her one day and I said, you need a hug. She's like, no, don't touch me. I'm like, no, you need a hug. She's like, no, don't touch me. I grabbed her and I hugged her and she fought. Oh my gosh, when I tell you I was sore afterwards, just trying my best to use all my strength to hold her, she fought me to not hug her. And finally, when she stopped fighting, she just started crying because she needed that hug more than she realized it. She wasn't crying because, like hurting. She was crying because of physical hurt. She was crying because her heart was pouring out those tears. She needed that hug. And I just held her. And I just let her cry. And I let her pour herself out on me. And I said, when you need attention, just tell me. If you feel like you're being pushed to the background, tell me. You don't have to act out to get attention. Now, some days it's hard. Some days I'm exhausted and everybody wants attention. And I give out everything that I have to give until I have nothing left to give. But every day isn't like that. Some days I would just pull one kid aside, like, hey, let's go spend time together. Where you want to go? Hey, you got a dentist appointment today, and it's only your dentist appointment. I'm gonna take you to your dentist appointment, then after we're gonna go out. What you want to do? There was one day my daughter said she want to go on a movie date with me. I let her pick the date, and I let her even pick the movie, and it was just me and her. We went out on a movie date. The boys, after I take them to get their hair cut this last week, I took them to McDonald's. No, we didn't go to McDonald's. No, we did go to McDonald's. I wanted to go to Chick-fil-A so that they could play in the play place, but they said McDonald's play place was more fun. So I took them to McDonald's and we just got slushies. We got slushies and one McFlurry because I don't eat their food. And I let them play and I let them just have a good time. Because my son is always asking me, Mom, when is it just gonna be Son's Day? Not Mom and Daughter Day, but Son's Day. I want you to myself. And so, um, after I take them to get their hair cut after school, I don't mind giving them a Son's Day. Just us going and kicking. If I don't have anything to do, I can do that. And it may just be an hour for me out of my day. But to him, it's the world. To him, it's a huge difference. And I know that for a fact because when I am in my busy season with my work, his schooling decreases. He's getting in trouble. I'm getting phone calls from the school, all of that. And then I have to pause my work. I talk to him about his behavior, but I also find ways, little ways to spend a little bit more time with him. And just by doing that, I see his schooling improve. Kids are kids. They don't always know how to express that they just need to be loved on. They need you. They don't always know how to express that. So as their mom, I have to recognize it when it happens. And I have to give them that love that they need, even when they act like they don't need it. Even when they're too cool to kiss mom, I got to give them that love because they need it. Um, those are the honest truths that people don't always say out loud. Motherhood is not glamorous. It was never meant to be glamorous. It's definitely a sacrificial love. But even with that sacrifice, that does not mean you have to let yourself go as a woman. because you're a woman and you're a wife before you're a mother. I'm not a wife right now, but I will be one again one day. And before you're a mother, you are a woman and you are a wife. So don't forget to pour into that woman. Don't forget to pour into yourself as a wife. Pour into your spouse as his wife. And pour into your children. And don't pour from an empty cup. Get you a hobby. Get you something that you like, something that you enjoy, some time that you just spend with yourself to fill yourself up. Whether it is taking off from work 1 hour early while the kids are at school, or it's getting a babysitter to watch them for an hour one evening a week. However it works out for you. Or it doesn't even have to make you lose money or cost you money. It could just be, hey kids, 1 to 2 hours on Wednesday night, I'm locking my door. Don't come to my door unless somebody is dead or bleeding. You just say, I'm locking my door, and you play a game, you sew, you draw, you paint, you dance, you, whatever it is that you like to do as a woman, pour into you. After you put the kids to bed, everybody's in bed at night. Stay up 1 extra hour just doing something that you enjoy. Gotta pour into you. Because if you don't pour into yourself as a mother, you're gonna be burnt out. And take care of your health too. Stop ignoring that pain that keeps coming up. Stop ignoring that tick that you keep hearing. Stop ignoring that sore toe or that sore shoulder. Stop ignoring those things. Go to the doctor. Take care of yourself. Stop ignoring your weight. That's one we don't like to talk about. I'm not the skinniest, as you can see, but I'm working on my weight and I've lost over 40 pounds. And it's not by no fad diet. I just make better choices every day. Well, I make better choices most days. And with me making better choices most days, it gives me the ability to be around for my kids when they have my grandkids. So take your health seriously. Have them run full hormonal panels on you so you know what you're deficient in, so you know what your body is asking for. Okay? Remember to pour into you. And everything that overflows from that cup that you pour into you, that's what you pour into everybody else. Don't pour from an empty cup. Give everybody else your overflow. And you'll see a huge change in your life. And it's okay to say no. Those kids don't have to be in every sport, in every activity, in every play. Say no. Say no sometimes. Have compromises. I have one of my daughters. She's very athletically inclined. Um, and so she was in two sports. She had the ability to be in four sports during one school year. I allowed her to play two. We're not trying to get a scholarship via a sport. That's not my goal. Sports is to give them something to do that they enjoy, and it is to allow them to expand as a person, their sportsmanship. It is not um, at the top of my priority list. I let her choose two sports to play during the school year. You ain't got to do everything. They ain't got to do everything. You can give them ultimatums. You could pick this or this, but you ain't about to burn me out going from this event to that event to this activity to that activity for what? No, I want us to spend time together as a family as well. All right. As we wrap up, I want you to sit with this for a moment. What are you doing as a mother that you can do better? And what is something that your mother did that you carry with you now? And if you're a mother to someone else, when was the last time you gave that same care that you give them back to yourself? Motherly love isn't only something that we give, it's something that we deserve also. If this conversation touched you in any way, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who might need it. Leave a comment. Tell me your story. I love to hear it. Don't forget to tell me whether or not you like to hear about my birthing story. This is just the beginning, and I'm really glad you're here. I'll see you in the next episode. Winsome Elizabeth, and thank you for joining in to the Hope After podcast. Join in again next Thursday at 7 p.m., where I will tell you a little bit about the name of this podcast and why that name was chosen.